Greetings and salutations, I am Kyron Russmore, and welcome to my channel. Sorry, a little late, as per usual. Yeah. My father always said that I'd be late for my own funeral. I'm still trying to set up over here. So I just need to double check. Hi Josh, how's it going? Okay, that's not a concern. Yep. Yep. And away we go. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Bit tired, but you know, that's the way of things. Can't remember where we're up to in Pathfinder Kingmaker though. Why is this always loose? I think that maybe, is that tightening that up? No, it's not. I can never seem to be happy with where the mic is. It always seems like it's claustrophobically close. Oh well, where will we be up to in this? Let's find out. Continue. Oh, that was it. I was exploring around. Exploring around places. I was thinking about going into that cave. Can't remember what might have been interesting in that cave. You can shush. Alrighty.
All according to plan.
So, got some. Oh no, that's just rage fatigue. Let's wait until that wears off, just in case we go in there and it's terrible. I think I'm mainly at the moment. Oh yeah, a strange ghost of an elven woman begged us for help and asked us to place the megaliths in correct order. Well, what is the correct order? And I mucked around with that and couldn't get it to do anything. Oh yeah, werewolves. Come on.
To victory!
Oh. I was hoping to charge, but I'll take the fact that I'm no longer fatigued. Tigriff, werewolf of Numeria. Switch scene, that would be a great idea. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, we were just stood outside of this cave, went into the cave. There's an odd colouring. Right, is anybody left flat-footed that I can see? Not really, okay. Move, kind of want to get these people moving, so let's just quicken that and move out of the way a little. Right, who's this? Lindsay, sing us a song and shoot the werewolf from Numeria. Let's barely scratch them. But they are a barbarian raging with additional hit points, I guess.
Let us strike as one.
Is there... Which one is this? It's this one. Exception silver. I don't think I've got a silver weapon. Rage Claw, which is adamantine, bastard sword, flaming bastard sword, cold iron long sword. So yeah, nothing in the silver, so oh well, we'll just have to murder them with a lot of damage.
Left yourself open.
Oof. Took a bit of doing. Let's have a bless. That'll do for now. The others aren't moving forward, and that disturbs me a little. God damn it. Oh, I accidentally quickened that.
This is for you.
Come on. And focus on the big one. It's one of them odd things, and it's one of the problems that I find with Pathfinder is how you've got things like cold iron, silver, adamantine, and a bunch of other metals that you can make out of weapons out of. I'm not sure how many more there are, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple more. What was that bloop? That was a weird thing. Oh, that's something I forgot to do. Just watch that for a moment. There we go. There's a couple of shout outs that I forgot to do. Is Rage Claw a weapon that provides extra benefits when the user is raging? I don't believe it is. It has... Oh yes, it does. It's a... If functions +2 higher when raging or under the effects of rage. So to a certain extent, yes, it would be better in somebody else's hands. Potentially better. See, the adamantine is a useful property. It's also got a +2, which gives a greater chance to hit than the +1. But yes, the flaming bastard sword, although I don't think she's as proficient with the bastard swords. Oh no, weapon specialization, bastard. Why am I using the longsword? I need to switch that over next turn. Greetings and salutations, J Station. I nearly called you Grey Station. Not entirely sure why. I'm murdering werewolves.
You deserved it.
I'm saving the Grey Station username till I get older. Fair enough. So if I just... So it's a 21-21, 12-19. So 22-22, 14-28. Yeah, I'm using the flaming longsword.
Do not fall.
I think there's some things which help with it being adamantine. But as it stands, I don't think it's enough of a help to justify. I mean, there's always issues cropping up, and it seems to be fairly safe and sound. But at the moment, I'm just pretty much wandering around, trying to figure out where the plot's going to take me next. Was not expecting to find a bunch of werewolves. Oh, white rose oysters. Bent wrench of a Technic League brand. Their stock +3, and then amulet of natural armor +3. So yeah, at the moment there's nothing listed as going on. Oops, didn't mean to press that button. Where's way out?
That is
It's
not
over here.
far.
So yeah, I'm pretty much just at the moment taking a tour of my kingdom. Time to invade new lands. I mean, there is, at the moment I'm just actually trying to figure out what constitutes my land. I'm going to all these little dots on the map, waiting for something to happen.
I need to catch my breath.
You being tired does not constitute something happening. So yeah. The charred ruins, the wicked fields, the fossil fields. Places like that. What's going on with the kingdom? So yeah, got 5 days arrears that need collecting at some point, but needs to be attended to before the end of the month, and it's nearly the end of the month, and every one of these people is busy with something. Tristan, Jubilios, Lindsay. Tristan is 6 days, Jubilios is 6 days, Lindsay is 52 days. I am not sending the goblin. Is he even in my advisors anymore? Yeah, the goblin's not in my advisors. Probably because he's a goblin. But yeah, I think one of the things that I was working to was upgrading another town to a village. Another village to a town. I can't... Was it this one? I think that's all done now. So I have a feeling that I need even more villages. Oh no, the brewer is a day from finishing. Not sure if that one counts as required. Goblin advice is as good as any. I mean, it has its uses. What they are, I don't quite know yet. But surely there must be some use to it.
A moment of respite?
No, Tristan, we're going to keep going until everybody's tired.
We should gather our strength.
You can do the camp camouflage. I don't care.
Was it that bad at the Order of Shellen?
For some, it was probably quite good. But for me, it was just a waste of time. What they call high art makes me yawn. The only art that interests me is the art of wielding a sword.
But yeah, to a certain degree I am working on building up towns as well as the kingdom. It's just there's so much going on with everybody else. Oh, hello. Our way was blocked by a huge crevice in the ruddy rock, carved out by wind and rain, as wide as 3 or 4 humans lying end to end, and at least 3 times as deep. It stretched in both directions as far as we could see. Looking down over the cliff, I saw something that made me wince. Among the rocks on the sandy yellow ochre floor was a body. We inspected the wall of the gorge, trying to determine how difficult climbing down would be. It won't be easy to climb down where we were, but a few dozen steps away we found a good combination of bulges, cracks, and ledges that would make for a somewhat more convenient path. After a bit of planning, we plotted a route that even an amateur climber could handle. One of us agreed to be the first to climb down to the path we'd chosen, so they could help the rest afterwards. After rubbing some dust on her hands and peeling off her boots, Valerie dropped down the cliff edge and started climbing down. However, her way down was doomed from the start. Ledges that seemed secure crumbled beneath her feet, and her sweaty fingers slipped on the rocks. By the middle of the climb, Valerie lost steam completely. Valerie cried out as her grip failed, and she lost her balance on one of the ledges, crashing down heavily on her back. Fortunately, she landed better than the stranger had, whose dead body lay nearby. After a brief rest, Valerie caught the knapsacks we threw down to her. Spreading our blankets and coats on the ground, we strategically scattered what pillows we had around. She prepared to help us. One by one, we started climbing down. Voices echoed among the rock. Advice from those who'd reached the bottom, mixed with some good-natured teasing, laughing, with arguing. Suddenly a stone slipped from under someone's foot and fell right towards the heads of those already on the ground. Oh, poor Chiron. He had just started taking a drink of water and wasn't paying attention. Don't underestimate the dexterity and reflexes of a seasoned adventurer, though. Hearing our cries, he immediately jumped out of the way and drew his weapon, looking around in panic as the stone landed beside with a loud thud. Our team finally made it down to investigate the dead man's body. We guessed right, the poor fellow had clearly died on impact. Lots of different types of gear had been scattered around in the sands, armor, tools, even scythes and hammers. It was clear that this was much more than a single person could carry. We searched the dead body and looked at what had been scattered around the sand. The gear in the knapsack and on the man's body were well preserved, but most of what we found lying on the crevice floor was corroded and useless. Spearheads and swords crumbled at the touch, and the armor had so many holes it looked like delicate lace. If not for the poor condition, there'd have been enough to outfit a whole regiment. We noticed something that couldn't be seen from above. A large stone stood blocking a hole in the wall. A sickly sweet smell leaked out from the dark, narrow crack that remained. We decided to enter the hole in the rock. As we pushed the stones together, it moved with ease, only to immediately release an incredible stench into the air. We'd found a small cave, but what was in it? Gods, it was full of charred, half-decomposed bodies, and lying among them huge grey eggs covered in some sticky slime. We tried to determine what the eggs were. None of us had ever seen or heard of eggs like these. The only thing that we could tell for certain was that these were left by some huge insect, that they were made of silky skin rather than hard shell. That was when we heard some strange sounds, like someone moving huge mounds of sand nearby, and the sound was coming towards us quickly. We decided to break the eggs. We drew our swords, we drew our weapons and struck at the disgusting eggs. Ostrich spiders. I mean, that's a guess, I suppose. Our steel sank into the hard skin and gooey green slime oozed from the eggs. There was suddenly no air to breathe. Tears streamed from our eyes, our throats grew raspy, and we started coughing. It wasn't long before we had to evacuate, but not before we managed to destroy over half the clutch. The noise continued to grow louder, emphasizing with strange dull sounds, as though the ground itself were muttering in some otherworldly language with a dry, coarse tongue. And then the wave of sound rose at the far entrance of the gorge, and the crest of the wave was coming straight for us. We rushed to search the corpses. I received a ruby ring. The corpses had been ravaged, covered with gigantic tooth marks, and burned by electricity and acid. Most of the clothing and items were unrecognizable. They were so eaten by acid. Even the walls had been polished down by it. We did manage to find a golden ring with a gemstone on one dead woman's finger, the corrosive substance unable to damage the King of Metals. A fountain of sand and dust erupted not 100 steps from us. From the sound emerging, a gigantic oblong head attached to a long, muscular body with no shoulders. The creature clearly resembled a worm, but it was thick as a century-old oak. Its hide was covered with warts and oozed a sticky yellow secretion, leaving wet trails along the sand. Lightning shot from its gaping mouth, lighting up its immense throat. The air took on the smell of a storm as a monster barreled towards us. And then Chiron screamed what we were all thinking. Run. But where? We scattered and looked for shelter. Most of the team dropped their backpacks and slipped into a crack in the crevice wall, but Chiron, trying to enter last, couldn't fit no matter how hard he tried. Swearing profusely, he laid prone behind a huge boulder that covered the entrance to the cave. We all held our breath. The worm was so close, we could see its dull, tiny eyes. Only the giant beast's heavy breathing and hissing sound of sand dissolving as acid dropped onto it broke the oppressive silence. The monster swayed its head back and forth, seeking until its nose hit on the boulder Chiron was hiding behind. Chiron's iron self-control did not fail him. He stayed motionless on the ground behind the boulder. It felt like eternity passed before the worm turned and continued its search along the gorge. As soon as the monster was gone, we carefully scaled the rock wall and escaped the damned place. Whoa, split the party? I mean, we survived and gained 11,000 experience points. For something that really, really didn't seem that dangerous, that's a lot of experience points. I mean, we got a ruby ring out of it or something. Oh, a fine piece of jewellery. A merchant would pay well for it. So absolutely zero medical properties whatsoever. Yay. And a shovel. Nice XP. I'm just copying that recipe while I remember. Hey, Magcat, how goes it? Southwards, northwards. Mysterious shrine. It was a DC 38 skill check, but at the same token, you know, it was a stealth check and I've got a plus 33 bonus to it. Not bad, been busy spraying up some more airsoft gear. Cool, cool. You know, it's just one of them things where it's like the chance of, I mean, Could have been curious to see what happened if I'd have fluffed the roll. And how dangerous that could have been. Oh, that's interesting. That's also slightly annoying. It's part of the puzzle. You see, I was in another location last week where the first row of this puzzle was. It's related to the Ravenous Queen. A strange ghost of an elven woman begged for help and asked us to place the megalithes in the correct order. But what is this correct order? I have no idea where this event was. Might be able to remember, or somebody in chat might be able to remember. Come on. Can you mark the map? I'm going to assume it's the one's called Mysterious Shrine. A group of megaliths with strange symbols seems to be long abandoned. A group of megaliths with strange symbols seems long abandoned. I don't think you can mark the map in this game. But yes, it's a 5x5 grid. And that's the first column, that's the third column. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of games that do allow you to mark the maps. And it does seem a little bit to like maybe want to do something like that in this. But at the same token, it's like there's not, you know, more often than not, when there's something of interest, there's a little exclamation point next to it. And that kind of gives you the ideas of where you want to go. The thing is, without much more of a clue...
May we have a moment of respite?
Desecrated Khan. Nord Rocks. Are we in my territory? Gonna swap me and Valerie again.
It's strange to remember how, as a child, I enjoyed all the bright dresses, bows, and ruffles.
And I like them all so much. Too bad I don't often get a chance to dress up.
Is what a town building spot? There's already a town in this area. I put it Glenshire. I finally remembered how to do it, kind of. But no, the little green things that you can find on the map, they're places that you can claim, and they give you our kingdom bonuses. So this Sunny Glade is loyalty +3. This Precipice A perfect place for building fortifications, gives you +4 to the military. This calm bay, +4 to loyalty. They're not too expensive to claim. But at the same token, it's all like, you've got to go out, you've got to find them, you've got to use build points to claim them, and it just gives you points straight to your kingdom stats. Interesting, I just arrived here. Ah. Gargoyle from the Frost tribe. And there's one down here as well.
I am your shield.
Hello. Murder!
I'll fight if I have to.
I'll try to make this swift.
Onwards!
I cannot sneak attack them. On the plus side, they can't hit me. We can make them explode, however. They do not appear to be very dangerous.
As it should be.
That might change with a lot of them. I'm going to assume you can hear the dogs in the background.
You can't stop me.
Can't tell which neighbour that is, but they've got very small yappy dogs. Never really did make much sense to me. Tiny. These guys are gargoyles from the Horfrost tribe. Don't know who the Horfrost tribe are, but they're gargoyles from there. It's kind of funny to see a game without flight mechanics implemented. Because you'd think that the guys over here with those wings could glide down and attack us from behind.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They look surprisingly goofy. I mean,
Last wishes.
They can't help it. They were made that way. We actually need to look into Pathfinder gargoyles. And I suppose D&D ones as well. Are gargoyles born or created? I think the fact that they're walking is a bit goofy. You know, they're pretty much the ideal enemy for flying around and attacking from behind.
Stay behind me!
This should do it. A calculated risk.
Did you get an attack of opportunity?
So it's come to this.
Gargoyles have neither born nor created. They have always been watching, waiting. Are you making an obscure reference again? And potentially to that TV series called Gargoyles? I only remember that it exists. I don't ever remember actually sitting down and watching an episode.
This will hurt.
No, just making up some random gargoyle. Fair enough. The thing is, if they weren't created or born, where did they come from? Are they ancient guardians of some forgotten deity? Just willed into creation? Does that mean that they're a dying breed? Especially if the deity has really been forgotten and is no longer holds a place of power in this world. According to Google, they came from Walt Disney. That's what we call monster historian. That's what we monster historians call a good question. I mean, I'm guessing when we're talking about Walt Disney, we're talking about one of the animated things. Don't believe they can actually hold copyright on gargoyles.
Let's try this way.
I mean, they probably could try. 'Tis Disney. That could be interesting, though. Having gargoyles in a particular world are just all like forgotten remnants of a long deceased god. Walt Disney himself is the originator, handcrafted the first gargoyles in his garage before he got bored and got into animation. I mean, he must have had a garage for a terribly long time.
They go down! Let us strike as one!
Because before animation, there was churches and cathedrals with awe-inspiring fixtures of both demons, angels, and gargoyles. He called it his garage. See, these things are barely a threat. But yeah, what do we think? Ancient gargoyles placed by some long-forgotten deity. What's their current MO? I'm guessing it's not to preach about the deity, or else they won't be so aggressive. It's a weird place to find 8 weapons. All of them useless. To cleanse the world? The gargoyles, the gargoyles forgot to pick them up on the way. The gargoyles forgot to pick them up on the way down.
In due time.
We will prevail.
Surprise! Yep, sometimes Tristan, you need to try really hard to miss these things.
This is for you.
Oh, Horthrust, Gargoyle, Eldritch Chieftain. But yeah, Jay, any ideas on what to make the gargoyles' primary objective? Given that they're leftover remnants of a deity long forgotten? Being semi-serious, just theory crafting here. Cleanse the world for their master's return. Ancient guardians guarding some kind of secret left behind that shouldn't really be uncovered, but and being unable to speak or learn the human tongue, they're aggressive, and so humans have always found them and put them down wherever they could. Always getting one step close to unleashing some ancient evil.
A calculated risk.
Oh, that's interesting. Long forgotten cult religion to guard ceremonial sites.
Do not falter.
See, what I'm struggling with there is the follow-up. I suppose to a certain degree there could be something at each of these ceremonial sites. You just need to try and track down where they are. And collect up the pieces. It's a classic dungeon D&D story. It's like, go to the 4 corners of the world and find these things. Woo!
Bring it!
I think Nightbot needs to chill out a little bit. Yeah, which makes hunting down their original shrines all the more difficult.
This is where I step in.
Because the hint that gargoyles are around is a clue that there is a site somewhere close. Could be an interesting rumour to populate a world with. And if the players pick up on it, they find the site, it's got some gold encrusted cultish artifacts useful to some collector or other. Interesting that I got the same visual effect as when I killed the lead not vampire, werewolf. And the only exit point is all the way down the Bleeding Hill. But yeah, have some magical item like the Staff of the Archmage or some equivalent endgame item broken into 4 or 5 pieces, scatter them around a continent. The only clues that you're anywhere near close to one of these forgotten shrines and the dungeon attacked is the fact that, you know, there's gargoyles in the area. The villages and mountains have made claims of gargoyles attacking them for years now. The city folk paid no mind until one of the gargoyles began to attack the city gates. The thing is, how many gargoyles are we looking at? Is that mine? Yeah, it's in my area. There's someone in the road. Oh, hello. Our road once again led us to the border of Pitax, where bandits, unconcerned for lore, often lie in wait of innocent victims. Imagine how surprised we were when instead of bandits we bumped into a guard patrol. Could it be that King Ivaretti was determined to restore order along his border? I've seen all sorts of miracles, but this would be hard to believe. The guard kindly informed us that the borders were closed due to a travel ban. This was not because of war or plague, but because of celebration. The kingdom was preparing for the Rushlight tournament, and the king was busy giving personal consultations to painters, artists, and the masters of a stage who would be responsible for the event. The king and I exchanged smiles. Too bad for the poor artists. According to the guard, the king ordered the borders closed to keep secret the details of his coming triumph. The guardsmen were polite but adamant. Unfortunately, we had no reason to challenge him and fight our way into Pitax. Before someone could disgrace us with an ignorant question about the tournament, I gave my friends a short lecture. The king specifically asked what would happen. Oh, the king, as in me. He changed the subject of the king. Because I thought they were talking about King Ivaretti, not Chiron the king, or King Chiron. Unable to stop myself, I blurted out, could it be that the true reason for this ban was to prevent King Ivarati's subjects from leaving the country? Having no reason to violate the ban, we turned back. The king specifically asked what would happen if we violated the ban. The guard frowned. Most probably, we'd have to fight, and you would win. Then a diplomatic crisis would follow, and in any case, you'd be expelled from Pitax. We discussed the situation and decided that there was no need to derail our relations with Pitax without good reason. Having no reason to violate the ban, we returned back. So, not allowed along that road. Do you want to enter this location, the Serpent Trail? Sure, why not? King Groan. That's a terrible, terrible portmanteau. I hereby banish you from my lands. Lands? My lands! I have lands, I'm a king. Any portmanteau in a storm. That's even worse. No, it's not even a good pun. Sure, fine, let's find out where this goes. Although, we got plenty of these. In the door we go. One of the things, you know, yep. First world mince pie. Flour, nuts, chocolate, first world fruit. Oh good, I have one of those. I did not realize we were in the bottom right of the map. Oh, nothing over here. Terrible things have occurred.
This will hurt.
Delay until after Valerie. Wow, zero chill Hydra. I mean, how would you react if somebody came into your home and just started wandering around?
You forced my hand.
True, I'd like to hiss and bite. I'm so glad that I picked up this region immunity to poisons. That's interesting. What did I just pick up? Whenever the wearer of these gloves successfully lands a hit with the melee weapon, an unarmed strike, or natural weapon, the target takes 1d6 points of acid damage. Curious. The wearer of these gloves grant the wearer a +3 morale bonus to AC against attacks against undead creatures. These gloves grant the wearer a +4 bonus to CMD against disarm. If the wearer has the weapon training ability and is wielding a weapon that gives a bonus to, that bonus increases by +2. What was these again? See, I kind of like the thievery ones because they kind of... That makes my thievery a 33. A 38. To... Oh no, all trickery skill checks. Yeah, the gloves are there. So that makes it a 32. But I do a lot of attacks. Whenever the wearer of these gloves successfully lands a hit with a melee weapon, the target takes... God dang it. You can have them. You're fairly good at hitting. I gotta head off and do a test of the settings with Division. Catch you later. Alright, I'll catch you in a bit. I was about to say Chiron. I'm Chiron. You're Magcat. Oh, and the Demon Slayer. Dragon Slayer. Long Spear. +5 enchantment. And +2... So it's a +7 against dragons with 2d6 extra points of damage to dragons. If only we were slaying lots of dragons and somebody was really good with spears. Yeah, well, that was a rather short dungeon. So yeah, Jay, you're thinking of the World War G situation for gargoyles, just suddenly trying to batter down and eat through city gates? The thing is, Horde at the Gate is... Yeah. The thing is, I was more thinking along the mystery, especially if they weren't born or created, they just existed, as to a point of intrigue for a campaign rather than, you know, sort of like end game stuff. Right, and this goes straight into Patelis. There's somebody on the road. Get ready. Bye. Wicked field. Oh, everybody's fatigued. Rest.
Your muscles are to die for. Can I touch them?
Hell no! You and Ragongar both. Keep your hands away from me.
Well, that was a curious encounter. Oh, Kingdom's got a message for me. Oh, drink until you drop. Success! stability is up. Thanks to the Warden's incredible efforts, the festival was celebrated without great incident, but there isn't a bottle of wine or keg of ale left in the whole region. Nothing on there, nothing on there, nothing on there, and nothing on there. Wicked Field. Again, we're in the weird position of being at the top. Oh. I see no... I see no offering worthy of me. You wouldn't summon a demon without preparing an appropriate sacrifice, would you? I'll definitely succeed next time. The Watchful Omen kills 4 Charon cultists. I mean, this seems like a terrible idea. 24 CR outsider. Oh well, charge! Not too difficult to hit, but we'll sing the song anyway. We'll move forward a little bit. And maybe we should have moved a little bit further forward. Oh, that's bad. Quicken and do that again. The guy is a little bit mean, and perhaps just a little bit grumpy. Right, did I prepare the spell? Death Ward on Valerie. And down he goes. And again that effect happens. Negative level. I think I need at least a restoration on that. Inspiring recovery. He's dead. Restoration. I think it's just a restoration I need. Yes, it is. Great stuff. Star Knife, Adamantine Icy Burst Star Knife +3, and a Quarterstaff +2. A page from the cultist diary. I wonder how bad it is that I managed to translate only half the scroll for the ritual. Unfortunately, time is running out. I'll just have to sort things out on the fly. These simpletons won't know any better. After all, oh Pax Grumiter, I'll soon rip your soul from those demons' paws, I promise. Yeah, he also then ran off, so I have a terrible feeling he could pop up elsewhere. We've definitely entered the part of the Pathfinder adventure where it's like, this is the part where the GM would make up some fluff as to why this is relevant to your journey. And not just like, you come across a ritual where 5 Charon cultists summon a guy. 4 of them instantly die. 1 runs off into the wilderness. What do you do? Yes, I don't want to violate the ban. No, don't want to enter that place. I want to go to the fossil fields. Fossil field. You can't portmanteau everything and expect it to make sense. I like that word, portmanteau. Aha! To you too. Oh, I've been turned to stone and have died.
Stay behind me!
I would rather not be in this state. Long live the king. I mean... Greater Restoration also dispels all magical effects penalizing the creature's abilities. Cures all temporary ability damage. It might work. But how about we kill the thing that could potentially turn us all to stone before I do anything else? Why are you trying to melee? Curiosity. Sing us a song, Lindsay. Oh, Tristan is immune to petrify.
Right.
I mean, I could really do with this thing being dead. Boom.
I'll fight if I have to.
There we go. There's more of them.
Go down! Ah!
To a certain degree, I'm glad that Tristan, stand a little bit closer to the edge of that cliff, but don't fall off. The haste gives me increased movement speed. Oh, disintegrate just hit Lindsay. Luckily, oh no, she failed the saving throw. And got dealt an insane amount of damage.
Bring it!
Revenge! This is not going smoothly. Well, no, rock is
Try to
coarse.
make this swift.
That's bad.
You deserved it.
There we go. Composite bow. Lowering charisma, the rest of it's junk. I'm now back in the lands of the living. Composite crossbow, a lowering headband, ring of protection 2. And a bunch of rest of junk. Hearty purple soup. Purple worm cut. Check. Maestodon meat. Check. Fowl. Check. Milk. Check. And some herbs to go with it. I love the fact that we're still finding milk. So like, where is the milk? Start at the bottom. Because I know that I've had milk before. Cannot see it right now. Can see cheese, which is what we should have. Yes. 17 pitchers of milk. God knows how long I've had some of that milk. Suppose I should heal myself up. But I don't think that I could ever play this game on... Because there's a game mode called Last Aslanti. Which means that you cannot reload. I think I would just get so frustrated at this game trying to play on Last Aslanti on anything where dead is dead. Because the difficulty that I've got it on is basically you get 2 attempts to die. I died once instantaneously, but thankfully due to the difficulty setting, it didn't mean reload time. But could you imagine it? Yes, yes, we're not having violating. Right, so up over this way. Kingdom wants something. Ah, the People's Wrath. Triumph. The advisor's servants conducted an investigation and removed the mayor. His holdings were transferred to the community he betrayed. This position was given to an honourable man of the people. The community is satisfied by that is being led by someone they trust. Der Stinvags miners. A group of miners offer to increase the output of mines throughout the whole region, 1 BP per week. Nice. Events, arrears, somebody get on this. Jubilios. Projects. Build a town. Here we go, build a town. I need more BP. Oh, that's interesting. Choose an advisor to handle the event. Choose wisely. Rebuild one of your villages into a lively town. Rebuild one of your villages into a lively town. And I don't know which one is which. It gives me no indication as to which town they're picking up on. Un momento. Oops. Just gotta do something. Twitch is playing up. There we go. Go to a town as it were. I can't do both because one of the problems with the town structure is like every free village acquired in your domain will enable you to upgrade one of them to a town level, provided that 6 or more slots are occupied in that village. The first upgrade must take place in the capital. So the capital is a town. And I have 2 towns already. I have capital, Lochingdale, and Varnhold, which is also a town. And it gives me absolutely no indication. It's a little bit further down the road. It's actually the next step, because once 3 or more towns in your kingdom and at least 16 occupied building slots in the capital will enable you to upgrade the capital to a city. So what I need to do at some point is go into the capital and upgrade it. I'm just going to do that one because it's the one that's available. And I need to fill, was it 16? Yeah, 16 buildings. So there's just one more thing for me to build here. Don't I already have Irene's magical... Yeah, rarities. Not sure if a lighthouse counts. Will doing both kingdom quests allow for the development of 2 villages to towns? There is that possibility. But it's also the possibility that whichever one completes first will be the one that gets the boon, as it were. Because if that's the case, then what you really want to do is to make sure that all your villages are eligible for upgrading. And then upgrade all of them to towns, or as many as possible, in one shot. I'm gonna go for a lumberyard. That'll boost my economy. And also my relations, because it has a pier. Should also consider upgrading at some point. I was just clicking done. A tavern to an inn, a barracks to a garrison, a shop to a trade shop. A bulletin board can only be sold, the printing house, the brewery, the teleportation circle. The lighthouse doesn't count. The pier to a marina. The school and the shrine to a temple. I'm out of BP again. Give me more BP. And the shrine to a temple. And there we go. In 7 days I should then be able to build a city. In my capital, Loachingdale. Charred ruins. Do you want to enter this location? Sure, why not? Not entirely sure why you require so many villagers to get a town, because it's like, that's not how towns and villages work. Skillfully crafted iron golem. $15,000 gold. Priority task, guard master's possessions.
Let us strike as one.
Well, I've declared myself master. Now give me all the possessions.
Let's try this way.
What is that noise? Oh, it's that one. There we go. Try to make sure you're happy with the location before upgrading them, as I think you would lose BP Roo doing them if you decided to move them. Alright, here, we're gonna get some nosh. Catch you later if you're still streaming. Alright. See you later, J-Station, and yeah, for the most part, I'm not really thinking too deeply on the whole town side of things. Maybe I should, but I'm not. Piece of sky metal. A sash of slash. This slash grants the wearer a 6 enhance and bonus to dexterity and DR5 slashing. And that is it. That is this entire dungeon. See, I've already got... Ooh. I mean, it's a terrible idea. I could get a +2 dex out of it. Which doesn't do as much for me as you would hope. It gives me a +1 to hit. Is that a +1 to damage? +1 to damage. On both hands. The main disadvantage of that belt for me is the fact that that has Constitution on it as well. And bumps me up by 20 odd hit points. And at only +1, I don't feel it's worth it. That joins up to there. That joins to there. I can avoid this. I've been spotted anyway. First turns out to be goblins. They are not goblins. We're immune to that stuff. So... Oh. Hammer is fatigued. I mean, these are not very tough things anyway. And the first thing they try to do is poison us when we're immune to poison. Ta-da! That's a couple of 100 XP at least.
Would be nice, don't you think?
Yes, resting would be nice. But Valor is not tired, so onwards! Okay, now Valor is tired. Everybody get some sleep. Use our rations up. Just get rid of them.
All those nights you always talk about are men. Weren't there any women? A band of men sounds pretty sad and depressing.
Oh yes, there was a Vudrani tiefling named Vivriel. She was a talented caster who could manifest energy weapons to strike her opponents. She sounds beautiful and deadly, kind of like you.
You know, I don't think I've heard any repeats in the interactions so far. The legacy of angels and of supernatural ancestors can show up in distant progeny. Thus, an Asmar child is born. Blah blah blah. Lead tribal fetish. Someone gathered and brought countless boxes, barrels, packs and crates. Judging by the dust, no one touched them, most of them, for months. The floor between the crates is scattered with items, clothing, weapons, and provisions. Examining everything will take several hours. Search through the boxes. 4 hours have passed. Gold ingot, hides, oil, gnomish hook hammer, which has a name. Each time this +3 gnome hook hammer lands a hit, the enemy has to pass a will saving throw or fall asleep. And the rest is pretty much junk. There's nowhere to sleep in this stupid hole. My back aches from the 4th day in a row because of the cold. Hello. With their mouths open, 3 hill giants stare at you, puzzled. Have you got many items for the storyteller? I think I've got a few items for the storyteller. I've not yet managed to find any complete collections, as far as I'm aware. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I need to go back and grab everything out of that chest and find and see if he wants anything. I know that I'm sort of like missing one piece from one or two pieces from so many different sets. Finally, after a long pause, one of them points his finger at you. You ask him, Grug. Shut up, Brack. The third giant has been silent all this time. Judging by his expression, he seems to be trying to figure out what's going on. Clearing his throat, Grog turns back to you. You're who? How about that? As soon as I got bored of not fighting, a fight came and found us. I'm Tyrone. I was just passing by. Grug's thunderous laughter almost deafens you. No, there's no work with us. Breck licks his lips with huge, sore-covered tongue. Let's eat them, Grug. We'll eat them, right? What do you think?
I'm not afraid.
I mean... Hill giant, hill giant, hill giant. We have somebody who specializes in murdering hill giants.
Do it. I didn't even break a sweat.
It's not me though. My face. It's Amory, who just absolutely loves killing hill giants. Or giants in general.
Saren Ray, be generous to them, for I am not.
I've really got to turn off that rod. The thing is, for the items for the storyteller, I don't know whether I've just missed some along the way. Whether they've just not in locations that I can get to yet. You know, one of the things is it's like they could put some of these collections of things in Pitax, and it's like I can't currently get to Pitax. Therefore, I can't currently finish off a collection. You know, and it's one of them where it's like, is there any sense in me going back and trying to find all of these items when there's a reasonable chance that they're not in areas that I can get to yet?
All according to plan.
Having a tough time with casters or archers? Try using the charge ability. So that's 2 mysterious shrines. Don't think. So yeah, that's all along Patex, so I'm not allowed in there anymore. Where else is there? Oh. 1,000 Voices in the Brentland Mountains, although there's no trail into the mountains. Suppose I could go over here and find out what's over here. Suppose I should also at some point go to these places that I've never been to. But I am overburdened, so let's make our way back to town. Put the map away. Oh, Kingdom wants me for something. Enhanced trade with New Setting. I don't even think I've got the trade with Setting going. Build a town. Sure, build another town. Let's see if that actually finishes or not. Trade agreement with Brian Hart. I'll do that in a bit.
I'm hungry. When we stop?
Round about now.
I understand how difficult it is to forgive me and accept me into your circle again. I am not asking or expecting this from you.
I've been wondering why you did what you did. It's an understatement to say that we were all stunned. You can't undo what you've done, but still, you know, I'm glad you're back with us.
Continuing on my way. And I forgot that I could teleport. I could have possibly made that trip a lot quicker. I'll finally remember when it comes right to the end of the game, and then, you know, some years down the line I'll play the game again, and then it's like totally forget that I can build teleportation circles until a late stage in the game. And then I'll build them and I'll forget about them all of the time until the last moments of the game. That's how my brain works. Alright, I've got a load of stuff to sell.
Follow my lead.
I'll go visit this vendor. I'd like to see your goods. Here, let me offer you everything that's junk and then sort. Nope. 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 No. No. Deal. Where's my castle? Throne room thing. There are some definitely good items that you should be able to find all the bits by now. I often had to look up locations and compare them against locations noted where I found the items I had. Yeah, I don't really want to go looking it up too much, not for the first playthrough, because I kind of want it to be as natural as possible. For the most part. I do think I've got a fair number of... Oh no, because it changed to other things. Because there's these bits. Cypress Queen, Ancient Khalid. Not seen any of those in a while. Fallen Warrior's Boot. Fallen Warrior's Sheath, Flask, and Buckle. Pretty sure there's 5 each of those. I have a feeling that he wants 12 melted shard rings. I'm not sure how many pieces of sky metal. Restock's Inquisitor thing. I don't think. Ancient leather scraps, I don't know. Shard of Knight's Braces, I don't think I've got anything. Scorch fragments. Soot. Talden. Torag. I don't think the Torag pendant's actually all that impressive. But yeah, most of these ones which have names, I believe, have 5 items in there, and I've only ever gotten 4 of them. And I think most of these. I brought you some relics. Torag's pendant, Khalid tribal fetishes, sky metal cogwheels. The wind howls over the wastes of Glenabon. The flames of bonfire dance rhythmically, rhythmic music of the barbarian tribe. Thousands of years ago, these belonged to the guardians of a great chieftain's tomb. Yes, the same tomb that they have been forsaken until recently. Are you interested in why the guardians abandoned their posts? Please bring me the rest of the 5 pieces, and I shall ask them. I hear the tools clinking, someone laughing, chatting. I smell engine oil and burning insulation. These must be the Technic League. Time passes, people change, but the spirit of greed and thirst for power remain the same. Who once owned these tools? What did they want, and what did they manage to achieve? I can almost hear their story. Find the rest of the 5 items, and they will speak to us. I found shards of an ancient artifact. Can you restore them for me at the anvil? May I? The scorched pieces of metal are a curious artifact, known as a necklace of double crosses. Find all 7. I remember the items more than more named items, just giving interesting lore stories. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. This is the thing. I don't mind the lore stories. I just wish that I found something, or all of them. These shards were once part of the Forest Knights. If you manage to collect all 10 shards, shards of a ring of reckless crush. Find the rest of the 12 shards. These scraps you have brought are part of the cloak of sold souls. Find all 15 pieces. Armor of the Sabertooth Courage, a Khalid relic, destroyed millennia ago. Find all 16 shard fragments. These are pieces of the Star Commander's glove, a gift from another world, a treasure that fell from the sky to be burned in Numeria's soil for millennia. But if you find all 17 pieces, we'll be able to restore this creation. So yeah, apparently I need 17 pieces of sky metal. I didn't really keep a mental note of, I think it was 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, I need one more metal shard ring, I think. But yeah, just so much. Ah, god dang it. Nope. But yeah, it's one of them where it's like, if I ever get round to playing this game again, I think I'm going to do it with a guide to one side and be sort of like, okay, in this area you need to pick up this, 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 and this. Unfazed by the awkward silence, Borkin searches through his bag for quite a while. Finally he pulls out a sizable brown bag. Here you go, a little something from old Borkin. Potion of bark strength. Thank you. Go away. My pleasure. I only hope that no one throws it away or leaves it to rot in some old chest. Well, I don't throw it away and leave it to rot in an old chest. I just don't actually do anything with it. Time are we on? 2 hours. Doop doop doo. Alright. Think I'm going to go out to these ones and see what these have to offer. I mean, they're probably massively below my level these days, but might as well clean them up while we're in the area and not much else going on. I'm tired. I don't know why. Well, that's something I remember seeing in here. What's this? A group of hardy people with axes, most likely lumberjacks, are menacing and fragile Nixie. Two lumberjacks stand before her, relaxed and disconnected. The lead lumberjack shakes his fist at the Nixie and yells. "Let them go, you swamp freak. If you don't, I'll burn your rotten grove to the ground, on my word." "You're the freaks. My name's Melissa, thank you very much. And if you keep being rude like this, I'll just drown these jumbos in the lake. Understand?" Noticing you, the lead lumberjack grins and waves. "You there, you seem the capable sort. Interested in some coin? Name's Corex, and we're loggers here in this forest. We could use your help in freeing our people from this Gorgon's claws." "We should help her." "No, them. I don't know. Why can't people and Fae live in peace?" Solve the problem with force. What's going on here? We were minding our business, cutting trees and splitting logs, when this hag shows up out of nowhere, screeches at us, then jinxes two of ours, and threatens to drown them. With these Fae breeding like rabbits everywhere, what's an honest, hard-working man to do? "Stupid Jumbo, you're the ones who breed like rabbits, spreading into more and more space. We lived here since forever. I've grown these trees for more than 100 years, know them down to the tiniest leaf, and you show up with your stupid axes and ruin everything." I try to reason with the loggers. "Listen to me, people." The loggers exchange glances, holding their hand on their axes. Yeah, I'm a little bit beyond this. The forest is big. I'm sure you can find some other trees to fell. Quarreling with the Fae is more trouble than it's worth. You have no idea how powerful and thin-skinned they can be. I'm the king of these lands, rightful ruler of the realm, and I haven't granted anyone logging rights in this forest. You should leave now, or you may regret it. The lumberjack gives you a long, hard look. "If you say so, your grace. The sovereign's word is law." All right. It's not like we're dead set on this grove in the first place. If she gives us back our people, we'll leave this place in peace. On my word." Milanese, they'll leave this place and never return. Please release the hostages now. "Oh, sure, and who's going to bring back my trees then? They come here, they smash everything inside, and then just leave? No, deal. Fix what you broke, and maybe I'll let them go." How are we supposed to restore a tree that's already been cut down? You humans are always like this. Destroy, and when it's time to clean up your mess, poof, gone. Fine. And since you're clueless, I'll tell you what to do. There are these magic thingies that look like feathers. Feather tokens. Throw one at the ground anywhere and a tree springs up. Your people's mages who've thread the swamps more often than others, they can make them. Buying a couple won't break your bank. My cousin Tristan also makes them. She lives in the Null Marches. Either way, you bring a handful of them back. I'll let your goons go. Wait here, I'll bring you the feathers. They'll be waiting right here. It's not like they have anything else to do, right? The Nixie chuckles as she tussles one of the lumberjack's hair. He smiles up at her faithfully. God dang it. I was tempted to tell them to go take care of it, but they're poor peasants. Oh look, a direwolf.
not falter.
Wow, way to miss.
So it's come to this.
At least Tristan has an excuse. He's blind. Piking no exit on one side. Doop doop doo doop doo doo. Does it tell me? Oh yes, there we go. Favor tokens. Might as well head straight there. Not much else is likely to send us down this way. No. Kingdom. Events. Runaways. Mighty genie binders from the Isle of Anjurma are fleeing their masters. Funkar Karswan. They seek a place where they can wait for his anger to pass. If given shelter, they may share the secrets of their craft. Well, we'll do that as soon as we have somebody available. Maybe. Probably not. Two people who are capable of doing it. The earliest one who is available in 41 days. I do believe that will expire way before.
I need to catch my breath.
So here's what we got so far. Today, Amiri killed 10 kobolds, a troll, a hoe dog, and more goblins than the fingers on two hands can count. You know, I don't think our readers are going to believe all this.
But it's the truth. I can cut them all down easy. I just need to find them.
More kingdom stuff. The hero's reward. Valerie or Tristan. Well, they might actually be done in time. That'd be nice. I think she mentioned something about the cousin, so I'm guessing it's a fae in this area. At least that bottom right corner of the Kingdom Manor got a lot greener today. Maybe. The satyr plays a reed pipe, and the dryad, laughing, accompanies her by clapping her hands. As you see them, they wave. Welcome back. Teresa, your cousin Malaise sends her regards and asks for 5 feather tokens. I'll always share with Melissa. Yeah, take them. I must take my leave. Farewell. Two days travel to go high. I just realised what you're on about. With the whole... Yeah, there was a spate of events and difficulties where it was just all failures. And yeah, you're right, it is looking a lot greener. Thing is, I think most of these are these events which you cannot fail. Yeah, these have failed, although there is still some green on there. Upgrade another village to a town. Rebuild one of your villages into a lively town. Projects, and apparently that one's still going. Spend 2 weeks resolving the loyalty. Oh, that's just going to rank up loyalty. Upgrade the capital to the city. Which will be possible soonish. Hopefully when some more of these buildings are finished. Namely the lumberyard. In the meantime, hero's reward. Tristan! Have a crisis point. Give me at least 50% chance. One of the army's commanders, a member of the respected local family, has performed an outstanding feat. The heroine deserves a reward. But it mustn't cause argument or envy. Didn't I just... No, it's not for giving up on me, is it? Go to the overgrown pool, then we'll head back to town and see what happens.
I need to catch my breath.
Well, we're heading back to town. You can all get over it. Excuse me.
It's not far.
There, will you free the hostages now? Oh, that's more likely. Go on, hostages, I won't hold you back anymore. I used to think all people were dumb and nasty, but you don't seem too bad. Let's be friends. Of course we can be friends. Chuckling, the Fae pushes you away. Hugh, what are you doing? Stop that. Come on. Here, just take this and hold off on the that cuddly stuff, alright? Gives me a ring. I have to go. Make sure you don't get lost. You people never seem to watch where you put your feet. Well, thank you kindly. I was already thinking there was going to be blood. I believe I was no. I should go before I have to murder you all for being muppets. I got a ring. I'm guessing it's a +2 ring? Yeah, +2 ring of protection. Again, that's one of them where it's like, that could have been useful several levels ago. But there's just so much going on in the game. You know, this is the first time that I've actually felt a modicum of lack of frenzy to everything going on. To the throne room. There's nobody here to see me. Court intrigue. The treasurer from one of the neighbouring countries has entered the borders of the kingdom on his way home from a business trip. Yesterday, a letter arrived at the castle in which the country's councillor asked that his colleague be made to disappear, with the evidence pointing towards bandits. I mean, why is this marked as a problem and not an opportunity? And why are you so useless? Just to have a reasonable chance, I need to put 2 crisis points into it. I could do with the stability. Fine. That's interesting. It's saying that I've still only got 2 towns. Curiouser and curiouser. I don't think I've got much junk worth selling right now. Just head straight on out. Tuesday. Path to this location is unknown. It's fairly bleeding obvious to me. Ta-da! Found it! Wolf from the Silence Pack. Their rank 3 stability should be 60 plus. Don't know if that's affecting his performance.
A calculated risk.
Yeah, I'm not sure what affects his performance.
Repent.
I've yet to figure that bit out. Ta-da! Killed both.
Enemy approaching.
These are big wolves.
You can't stop me.
This is where I step in.
You might want to seek shelter. From this storm. Come on. More of Silence Pack.
Serves you right.
And then it exploded. It's funny, if you crit it, they explode. If you deal a lot of damage to it, they don't explode, even if the damage is greater than that of a crit. As in it would have been 60 at some point, ranking up to level 3 to be possible.
Stay behind me.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about the stability is I do feel that a lot of the problems that have occurred and have failed have been around stability and basically caused it to come plummeting down a little bit. I suppose to a certain degree it's one of them things that I should potentially look at doing is like trying to increase the stability
Let us strike as one.
as part of, you know, building up towns and cities.
This will hurt.
Silence.
Let's try this way.
Younglings.
Do not falter.
I was about to say they're surprisingly tough. Silent, the alpha wolf. Silent has exploded.
Onwards! Stay behind me!
I could have sworn you had done this map, that's why I referenced it in the last session.
You deserved it.
Was that when I was fighting the werewolves? And no worries, because it's one of them where it's like, I don't remember what I've done / doing a lot of the time. And it's not like I expected other people to remember stuff for me.
Bring it!
Skin, grab, bones, pelts, side +1, basic leather armor. And not much else in this cave. There is something over here. Bunch of junk. The problem is, because whatever won't clear off over there, I don't know when new things have occurred. Three Pine Islet. I'm gonna guess that it's an islet with 3 pines on there.
I tire.
Yeah, yeah, there's been a few of those, because in this session there's been a couple of named groups. The gargoyles, the werewolves, that set of wolves. And there might have been others where it's like, you know, the 3 hill giants in the cave. There's so little, you know, to work off in terms of narrative in the adventure paths published by Paizo sometimes. You know, it will literally just be sort of like, here's an encounter, and the GM can choose to make something of it or not. And in the case of, you know, Kingmaker, they seem to have just thought, yep, these are encounters that you might have while traveling around. And rather than trying to make a story of it or anything like that, they've quite literally just left it to like, yep, there's a bunch of wolves.
This requires your attention.
A scorched fragment of the necklace. That's a curiosity.
This should do it.
Do not falter!
But yeah, I can kind of understand why they've done it, because it's like they don't really need to add much more to the plot of Pathfinder Kingmaker, but at the same token, it's like I feel that it might have been slightly better if they'd trimmed them out or tried to fit them in somewhere. You know, put them as bounties on boards in, you know, some of your outlying towns where it's like, you know, there's talk of werewolves, and the local people ask you to deal with them. That kind of thing. Nothing of interest there. Why am I heavily encumbered? Could be the fatigue. Oh no, I'm exhausted. Why am I exhausted? Nothing much of interest there. Come on, sliver faster.
I'll try to make this swift.
Should have shot at one of the other ones. Catch them flat-footed.
A calculated risk. Bring it!
Supplies.
Tear them apart!
Two for two. Oh, you missed.
This is for you! Onwards!
Stick over there.
All according to plan.
Because the screen is shaking, having difficulty trying to click on. Judging by the empty coffer, somebody was using this boat to transport quite a bit of goods. Hi, welcome. Thank you for following. I'm not even Oli AC? Something like that. Hope I don't offend you with the absolute bastardization of your name. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I have no idea why I'm traveling so slow. Did I not rest when last in town? Perhaps not. But by that argument, everybody else should be as fatigued. Because ironically, if I don't sleep, nobody sleeps.
Tire.
You're just tired, though. I'm gonna force a rest here. No, it's not quite time.
Hey Tristan, your goddess teaches mercy and forgiveness. But are there things you wouldn't be able to forgive?
Besides your bitter humor?
Wow. Yeah, the terrain was rough, making it difficult to move around, but I was also fatigued and exhausted, which isn't usually a factor of the bad weather, and why everybody wasn't affected by the same bad weather. See, again, that's... Have I broken something? Have I managed to absolutely break something by trying to build 2 towns at the same time? Ah. Still need to click on that. There we go. Now we've got a town. Now it says 3 towns. Do I need to just click on? No, I can't just click on that to make it a city. Definitely at least 16, and there's 16. Right, so whatever's going on should eventually trigger my ability to turn it into a city. Tranquil Riverbend. Let's have a look. What's going on here then? Okay, hello. Slightly tougher than expected. Still not that tough though.
Inspiration.
They go down!
Boggarts. Essentially frog people of Pathfinder lore.
I'll fight if I have to.
So it's come to this.
Yeah, I think that was another reason for me not always wanting to go around everywhere and clear out all the points. It's like, unless you were instructed to go there. I think I might have done some of the early ones. And it's like, if you weren't instructed to go there, it was really difficult at times. And you know, I mean, given the level that I'm at, these are all fairly easy, but at the same token, it's like I can understand where it's like, you're not quite of the right level yet. Therefore, it's really difficult. Wow. Missed.
This will hurt.
Surprise. Regret life choices by moving past us. Did we loot this? No. There's a door.
We will be victorious.
I'm guessing to some kind of boggart hole. You know, the levels of difficulty that I'm seeing here, it's like I'm not having any kind of difficulty realistically. But I can definitely see why this would be, you know, this is probably the one of the tougher things I've battled in this area, this session, and it's just like, why wouldn't you come here earlier on? And if you did come here earlier on, you'd just get massacred.
Repent.
And there's no real indication as to, you know, why it might have been a bad idea to come here.
Any last wishes?
Oh. Sorry, I totally missed your question there. Hi, I'm enjoying the game in turn-based mode, but my characters all walk instead of run when I enable it. Is there any way to make them run? Yeah, if they're doing something, you can press space to speed it up. Thanks, I did notice it, speed up the entire game, but in default mode. Characters run in the order instead of walk slowly. Was wondering if there was a way of forcing them to run. Yeah, so when you're in the turn-based mode, let's see if I can get into another combat.
Follow my lead.
Come on, there's got to be something. So yeah, if I go wandering over here, it's okay speed. But while it's their turn, you know, if they're wandering around, you can press space and they'll move slightly faster. And also when it's your turn, if somebody's moving, you can tap space and they'll move slightly quicker. The thing is, I can kind of understand, because if one of the things about the speed is that if I click over there and decide that it's a bad idea, I can press G and then stop it, which is something that I do a fair bit, mainly with the sort of like ranged attackers, where it's like I accidentally click the ground just behind and they start moving. And it's like the only way of stopping them is to press G on the keyboard. Thanks to Josh's watching for letting me know about that. Sometimes if I don't have my hands in quite the right place, somebody will end up wandering somewhere and I'll try and press everything to get them to stop and then finally remember it was G, but sometimes I'll end up pressing space and, you know, they'll run to where I didn't want them to be. Right, I think you need to die. That didn't make you die.
Let's try this way.
But yeah, for the most part, I've got the game settings on the default. Don't think I've tweaked much. So how long have you been playing the game? One of the things I found is I owned the game when it came, or I purchased the game when it was in the Kickstarter. And eventually it released, and I tried playing it in real time and just had an absolute nightmare trying to get used to the combat in real time. I'm so glad that they came out with the turn-based. Just allows me to play at a speed that I'm comfortable with. Can make it a little bit slow when it comes to some of the fights, like, you know, you'll forever be bumping into goblins. One of the things that Josh says, it's like whenever he comes to that for himself, they'll switch out of turn-based to deal with that encounter, but I've only done that once or twice, because I have a terrible habit that if I set it to real time and was able to cope with it for a little while, I'd just spend the entire game running around on normal combat, probably getting killed several times, not making tremendously good use of a lot of my abilities, but who cares? I didn't play the classics, but I'm familiar. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. About as much fun as I had with Divinity 2, but I think I'm going to like this one more. Yeah, one of the things, I've not played Divinity too much, but I have played a lot of the older Divinity games. And while I enjoy them, I find that they lack direction, and they also sometimes they break the fourth wall just for the sake of breaking it, and that is a bit jarring at times.
They go down!
But yeah, I've played a fair few games that are like this, not on channel, but just, you know, in my own time. One of my main problems is actually committing to the length of the game, which is why I asked have you answered how long you've been playing? Because I don't want to scare you off if you've not been playing for very long or don't know how long the game can take. One of the things is, it's like, even if you find, with the way that I'm playing it and with the fact that I'm streaming it and I'm reading out every text prompt that comes up in full, and, you know, occasionally pausing to have discussions with people about certain aspects of D&D and Pathfinder and the rest of it. It has extended the amount of time that it should have taken me to play this game, I think, by a fair amount, but at the same token, it's like, I've only just started and I rolled a ranger, but I don't know how to pick my favorite enemy and terrain. I have the trait, but I don't see anywhere to pick. It should have been done at character creation, I would have thought. Let me just finish off this. Anything else back here? God, it keeps going. How big is this place? This is actually a fairly big place. I don't think Rangers get them at level 1. Oh, you did pick. Yeah, I think... thank you for the follow, Ethox. I'm assuming I'm not pronouncing the leading and trailing X's. But yeah, I think in Pathfinder they do. I don't think in D&D 5th edition you get favoured terrain straight away.
This is where I step in.
But yeah, part the character creation. Once you pick up a trait, you have to make the choices. You know, my character is a knife master, and at first level, was it first level? No, one of the levels. Yeah, finesse training as part of the 3rd level was like you have to choose a weapon type to have the finesse training with. There's no way of getting out of character creation, so it's fairly good at walking you through that. It's not like you know, there were some games I remember hearing about somebody playing Mass Effect, and they just did not know that they could upgrade their weapons and their armor using the mods that are available. They were picking them up, they just didn't know how to use them, and it wasn't obvious. This game tends to be a little bit more sort of like, yeah, okay, at this point you have to make a choice, and we're not letting you off this screen until you've made the choice. The difficulty can swing. And, you know, there's been times where I've been frustrated at the game because of some of the difficulty swings. I will say this, take your time.
In due time.
Save frequently. And, you know, you should be fine.
Calculated risk.
Occasionally you might have to scum save your way through an area because it's all like, yep, I survived that fight, save it, heal up, rest if possible. If it can't be if I can't rest, then go on to the next fight, and you know, save it before the fight, after the fight, and before the next fight. It's Anne-Marie is really injured. I have not really been paying attention to any of this. Let's move forward a little. Heal up. But yeah, the difficulty swings, once I've actually gotten past some of the more frustrating areas, there has been a fairly decent sort of like satisfaction to it. It's like, yes, I've beaten that area and I'm past that. And also then the difficulty will... I'm not entirely sure if it does swing down or if it just feels like it's swung down because you're no longer having to... Oh, that's an interesting screen. Please don't tell me OBS has crashed. No, OBS hasn't crashed. It has just reset my chat room, so if anybody said anything in like the last 30 seconds or so, you might want to say it again if you want a response from me. Let's have another heal because Valerie's not Valerie, Emery is kind of injured. One of the interesting things I find in this game is your choice of companions, and you know, the amount of detail that the companions had, sorry, not had. You know, the side questing that you do to like your companion. Await the first results. Nature's Wrath. Why does that say Nature's Wrath? Sometimes I find that the titles of some chapters and quests kind of give away a little bit too much, if you ask me. It's all like that one where it's just called Nature's Wrath, and it's like, set up a miners' camp. Why would Nature's Wrath be a factor in that? Time will tell, but at the same token, it's like you can almost guarantee something's going to go wrong. Also, does distance minus matter for ranged weapon spells? Also, does it matter if characters get flanked if they are being attacked in turn-based mode? I mean, I know in turn-based mode some differences in attack of opportunity, trying to figure out the rules. So, yeah, flanking isn't strict flanking. So, let's call Amory the enemy there. And, because I'm a rogue, so you really do need to know about flanking. Valerie is there. Now, in traditional flanking rules, I would have to be over this side. That doesn't matter. As long as there's like two people very close together like that, then it is considered flanking, and you get your bonuses to sneak attack and flanking bonuses from the attack rolls, and also there's a feat outflank. Where it increases the flanking bonus and also gives you the critical hit. So it's not too bad on the facing elements. Range matters a little bit. So, for example, the bow I think is about out to that range. And your people will move up to that range. They will never fire outside of the range increment. And as far as I can make out, there's no way of forcing them to fire outside the range increment. There's a bit of a flaw in Kingmaker, if you ask me. I think that it was a facet of the tabletop game. I'm not 100% sure. I know that it's a facet in 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition. But yeah, you can't get them to fire outside of their first range increment. So yeah, they will always go for, you know, moving into range the moment you start like target an enemy, and they'll move the minimum distance or up to their maximum distance to make sure that they've got the range. Can be a little bit annoying because you'll see that they walked that much over just the halfway point, and now they're into their second action. They're using their action to move. One of the things, if you're playing it on the PC, which I am, I'm guessing that this is an option on the consoles, but I don't know what key it would be. Is if you want to make sure that somebody doesn't move too much, you can right click the mouse button, and what will happen is it will change between the full move, the standard move, and a 5-foot step, because that's one of the things when, for example, if you're in base-to-base contact with somebody and you move away, that will trigger an attack of opportunity. if you right-click and get it to the 5-foot step, which is, I'm about to point to my screen, and you can't see where I'm pointing on my screen. But where it's got the movement, over here is the sort of like 5-foot step. If you right-click on that until that's highlighted, then they will only move the 5-foot step. And that 5-foot step negates attacks of opportunity. And that way you can sort of like get your archers and your spellcasters to move as far as they can away without wasting their action to move and without provoking attacks of opportunity. A new phase in the life of your capital. Rebuild your capital into a magnificent city. It's time to grow and evolve. It's time to buy more build points in. 200. Who's going to lead that up? Valerie? Okay. Runaways can't do that. I don't really care for that right now. 7 days to resolve. Finally, I'm getting my capital to a city. Yeah, the 5-foot step between real-time and turn-based. As far as I can tell, you're new to the game and only playing turn-based. But yeah, SOX is quite right. It's all like, yeah, there's very little in the rules. The -4 on roll to hit is enemy engaged with another target. This applies to ranged weapons and spells. To AC like raise, but it's not reflex saving throws. The negative penalty can be gotten away with a feat, and I think most of my characters have that feat. I say most of them. The ranged ones. Point blank shot? No. Precise shot. There we go. Which has a prerequisite of point blank shot. So yeah, the point blank shot makes it slightly easier to hit, and you get a bonus to damage rolls up to 30 feet. And then leading off of that, you've got the point precise shot, which negates the -4 penalty. Really useful if you've got somebody who's only ever going to be at range. And my screen just crashed, but at least it's not my stream again. And it kept the chat that time. Good. So yeah. Is there... Oh, there's a few more places that I can go. It's all like at that stage of the game at the moment. One of the things that I will say, I'm not sure how deep you are into the game, is you are given opportunities at certain points just to wander around the map and do things. At the moment, my quest journal, it doesn't have the major quest going, which would appear above beneath the Stolen Lands. And at this point, I can wander around and do whatever I want. It is very useful to wander around and start cleaning stuff up. And that's something that I just remembered. I might have actually found all the pieces to one of the artifacts. So that'll be a bit curious if I have. I don't really... I'm coming up to that point in the stream. Oh, hello. Who are you? The goldsmith's face shines. Your Highness, please accept this humble gift as a token of my deepest affection, respect, and whatever else the rules tell me I'm supposed to say. I very much hope that you like it. I worked really hard on it. A golden tongue? Okay. Great, I can't wait to see your next creation. Believe me, I won't disappoint you. Anybody else? No? Golden tongue. I've got so much junk. Ah, Golden Tongue. This amulet grants a wearer a +5 morale bonus to all persuasion checks. Okay. If that was important, then I'd care. Right, I think I found another shard of that one. If I'm not mistaken, I might actually have them all. Storyteller, why are you facing the wall? Brought some relics, fresh leaves, shards of an ancient artifact. May I? You have gathered all the fragments of a necklace of double crosses. They can fit into my hand. They carry an inglorious story. Allow me to tell you the tale as I restore it. I expect the story will amuse you, and perhaps even give you some food for thought. So what is your answer? Will you entrust me with this treasure? The storyteller eagerly awaits your response. Restore the necklace of double crosses. The storyteller holds the pieces of metal carefully in his hands. I shall begin. Not every legend speaks of heroic feats. Some tell of atrocities and wicked things. I will breathe my gift into this necklace, that it may tell you something of itself. Got it? You have a necklace of double crosses? This wearer of this amulet grants a wearer. This amulet grants its wearer a +4 bonus to trickery, stealth, and mobility skill checks. Their melee attacks against flat-footed opponents deals 2d6 sneak attack damage. When an ally moves away from the wearer in battle, the amulet forces the wearer to make an attack of opportunity against that ally. That is terrible. I mean, how... 41... I probably wouldn't... Well, no. I could hit Valerie fairly easily with that. 24 AC, I could definitely hit. Oh no, I couldn't hit Valerie. Maxed it out at 34 and she's got 41. So I could hit Valerie with a crit but nothing else. But anybody else, if they walked away from me, I'd just absolutely shank them. I can't give you any guarantees, but I have used items extensively and the negative effects never went off. Pretty much if you want any of your characters to regularly shoot things from ranged with bows or ranged... Sorry. Touch spells you want to get point blank and precise shot. Yeah, I cannot recommend them 2 feats for anybody who's at range highly enough. It just... It's basically... If you don't have that feat, then you're putting yourself at a 20% less chance to hit for everything. And a lot of the time, your spellcasters might not suffer so much because you're usually hitting your touch AC rather than AC, which can be considerably lower anyway. But at the same token, you can end up with situations where it's like, I have my cleric Tristan who has a bow and he is not combat ready at all in a lot of cases. And without the point blank shot, precise shot, I doubt he'd be able to hit anything a lot of the time, simply because that 20% swing just tips him over the edge to not being able to do anything. Alright, it is time for me to end my stream. I would love to stay and chat some more, however, unfortunately this evening I need to go shopping. So why is it taking so long to save? Come on, finish saving. Please? There we go, game saved. So, at 6 days and almost 4 hours of gameplay, yes, this game can take a while. This brings us to the end of session 58. I will be back on Thursday, about 8 o'clock GMT, playing some more Pathfinder Kingmaker. I also stream Hitman 3 on Fridays. Thank you, Diosesh, for the follow. And on Mondays, I am currently playing Cyberpunk 2077. That is a cursed stream. The number of times the game crashes or OBS crashes, it's unreal. But at the same token, at some point that's actually going to get put on hiatus as I'm working with Manapot Studios. I will be going over onto their stream and actually GMing a game of Starfinder, which is, for the want of better words, Pathfinder in space. So once that actually starts up, I would love to invite you all to hang out over on Manapot Studios and can watch us play some. I want to say live action. It's not live action. It's real play live stream of Starfinder. I'm currently accumulating up players, but I should have a full table by the time we go live with that. We are just going to find somebody to raid. Who's playing at the moment? I'm gonna raid into Krifu Banal. He is the guy that I'm going to be. He's from Manapot Studios. He's got his own channel where he is currently playing the old classic Diablo. So if you all want to say hi when we get over there, that will be much appreciated. And I hope you come back next time. Oh, by the way, the times all vary on my stream. If you check my schedule below, that's all up to date. I do try to start roughly on time. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Taddy bye.